Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of the Daily Crypto News. And now for this video, once more, if we hit 750 likes within 24 hours, we are giving away $150 worth of goodies. So make sure you press the like button, make sure you subscribe, and make sure you comment down below your top 3 cryptocurrency to enter the giveaway. And guys, we will actually announce them live in videos, so make sure you enter. Now, the last couple of days, I've really been diving deep into the bigger theories that are going on inside of our markets, our economy, our financial situation, and most importantly, our government and Fed and all of that. And one of the things I just saw pop up was this. Trump says next stimulus checks could be bigger than last time. Donald Trump said he would like to see very high CFI relief payments, but experts are concerned this will continue to devalue the dollar. In brief, Donald Trump said he wants to see very high CFI relief checks in the next round of payments. The HEALS Act is estimated to cost another whopping $1 trillion, and such unprecedented levels of stimulus are leading to the devaluation of the US dollar. And very often do I tell you guys that it has started. We are already very far into this just downhill spiral of the US kind of losing their grip. And this is partially in terms of finance, where they're really losing their financial grip, and that's mostly talking about the Fed, of course, because of all the QE, but also the government themselves, because people won't trust them anymore too much, right? They're printing so much money, making everything just so worthless, and it's their decision, all right? It's their decision to do this, to help out these companies, and the Fed regulates it all and I guess puts it out. But it's still the decision, and Trump here is also just kind of acknowledging it, saying, hey, it's going to be worse than before. It's going to be better than before. And he says here, I'd like to see it be very high because I love the people. I want the people to get it. Which is something I find very scary to see. Very scary, because that's going to lower a lot of the it's going to lower the value like crazy. And people are losing their grip. People are losing their faith, because it really is looking like their money is going to become worthless. Now, looking about money becoming worthless, a lot of the institutional investors, the guys with billions of dollars for which every cent, every penny matters. Because think about it. If you have $10 and the price of a dollar goes from $10 worth in euros, for example, to $9, or I guess to $10.01 per 10 euros, for example, right? Yeah, I mean, to you it's not going to matter. But to people with billions of dollars, that one tiny cent can make possibly, let's say, for example, millions of dollars in difference, right? And that's most likely quite impactful, a small 1 cent change. And that is actually what's going on here. This HEALS Act, even though people are anticipating for it, it will have a lot of people just leaving the dollar, going for something stronger that is not doing a lot of this QE. And now a couple of articles have popped up the last couple of days. One of them is maturity of the crypto derivatives market attracting more institutional investors. So at this point, I would say the two most prominent things that are bought right now are just assets that have a kind of a counter correlation, that are sort of a safe haven, but more so have a counter against the US kind of falling down. That's what a lot of people want to buy. Of course, gold. And I would say anything that looks like that. So for example, silver, I would also just counter the precious metals, that you guys get it. However, one thing is popping up more and more. And yesterday I showed you a video where one of the Ripple former executives said that, well, the market is maturing, the crypto market, but also a lot of assets and crypto, they act alike, right? I said that's not completely the case, but I'm thinking it's going to get towards there or away from it, depending on how the situation rolls out. Now, what I'm thinking now is the better form, which is assets and crypto are going to move correlated, but really inversely. So what happens now is that people, instead of going into the US dollar, they don't go for assets because, well, they coincide a little bit, right? They correlate in a positive way, which is bad. But they go for something to kind of go against it, which is, for example, gold or crypto and all of that. To get into crypto, though, the whole financial sector needs to be a little bit more sturdy, because right now, a lot of people, talking about billionaire people and the big guys, they're having the questions of whether or not the money will be safe, whether or not it will go down like crazy. And one of the biggest announcements and best announcements was, of course, this one from the 22nd of July. Banks in the US can now offer crypto custody services, regulator says, was one of the best announcements for crypto ever. And also, the OCC said that XRP is now a currency, which also really helps. But what I'm thinking here is that the crypto derivatives market, and really the market in general, needs to mature a little bit as well. I think, by the way, that one of the things it really needs is to become a little bit more liquid for example, trillions of dollars that could be popping in. Because very often we're talking about, hey, what if trillions of dollars were to hop in? But think about it. What if one big institutional player would have wanted to buy so many billions of dollars worth of crypto that it would have to use so many different ways to do it because it's going to be too expensive, right, to buy it all at once, even though they want to. Think about that as well. With Forex, it's so liquid, you can just buy a ton without it really having any effect. With crypto, you can really just break the market by buying too much. And I think institutional investors are also aware of those things, which is maybe why they're also staying back a little bit. But here it says, biggest concerns for institutional investors. Zhao says that the biggest concern for any institution exploring crypto is the need for proper financial tools to run risk management. Risk management is out of reach without a functional, robust derivatives market. He stressed that derivatives markets serve a vital function of contributing to liquidity, providing proper risk management tools and different product options. Therefore, such is how I see the cause and effect when it comes to this topic. When the bar of play rises, those that are built for the long run and truly provide value for users will emerge as the biggest winners. And that, in my opinion, is something to really think about, guys. Something to really think about. Crypto is maturing. We all know it. However, it's really not there just quite yet. It's growing, but it's really not there just quite yet. However, we all know the savior for it all is partially XRP. And why is that? Well, I would say that liquidity is one of the basic needs that any institutional investor demands, right? And with liquidity, it can mean a couple of things here. But for example, if you're talking about how big the order book is going to be and how liquid it's going to be in that sense, well, then this might not really help. But if you're talking about how much can we move, how quickly, and how easy is it to move my money, like how liquid am I as an individual sort of, or as an institution, then the bar really starts to change when you're considering or thinking about XRP. Ripple's XRP head. Deep liquidity is what will bring institutional investment into crypto. Partially, this has to do with what we just read, right? Where it's just, for example, liquidity or proper liquidity here could come from derivatives market, and it's what the people need. But also, I would say that being able to move your billions of dollars around like fiat, in terms of from exchange to exchange and all of that, and from one party to another, it's going to be really important for them to hop on. And being able to exchange all your money whatever you want to, it's all going to be really important. And I think that XRP out of a lot of these cryptos has the best chance of really making that sturdy. But that is something that David Schwartz was also talking about a little bit earlier in one of his interviews. And where does Ripple fill in? Well, Ripple as a company can also work with this really interestingly. But if you are interested more into it, the deep details, I recommend you guys to check this through. I'm going to quickly read two of the quotes. But setting laws in stone isn't the best approach either, she said. Brianne Madigan, I believe, right? Yes, Brianne Madigan. The fast pace of the industry requires flexibility governments aren't very good at. Flexibility will be key to account for the different products and also changing technologies. We need clarity from regulators, but then we don't want it to be too prescriptive and specific that we stifle innovation. A number of global jurisdictions have started in a positive way to take the lead around setting frameworks. That's been extremely helpful, but we need a consistent approach across the globe. If the US isn't fast enough to develop constructive policy, you may see strong innovators and leaders in this space set up their business in other jurisdictions. And that is something that XRP Owl or King Solomon taught me about really briefly, and that is the US is behind in quite a lot of sectors. Now, at first I didn't really believe it because I was like, well, if I were to think about innovation, I would actually always put the US up front, and even seeing is that Ripple comes from the US. However, in a lot of this jurisdiction type of stuff or this regulatory clarity, they're actually really behind, because I think they're one of the most sturdy governments out there. You would say China, but in terms of crypto, it's actually not the case, right? In terms of innovation for their companies, China is really progressive because they want to beat America. They want to do all their best to get businesses running as quickly and as hardly as they can. Even if they have to go against their morals, I think they're really trying to go for it still because they just want to be the best. And with America, what you very often see is that you start to slack off a little bit or become too sturdy because you're number one. The bad parts about being number one is, first of all, that you have a standard to keep high. So America can't just allow all these stupid companies and stupid rules to come in. First of all, because they're always, thought of as the biggest, and because, well, if they were to do that, maybe things would all break since they're also the largest. However, the bad side to that is they also have to be more sturdy because of what I just said, and that will always, go against a lot of this panic and a lot of these crazy, stupid things, but it will also stop a lot of innovation, which a lot of countries are really not that concerned with, which is why the US is a little bit behind in a lot of these things, and why they'll most likely be that way for a little while. Also, I was looking up, and one of the articles said that a lot of the buying that billionaires are doing right now is actually happening over in London. Let's see here. How the super rich are buying up Bitcoin. And this is mostly talking about individuals, I think, but still. Far from the murky, impersonal world of online Bitcoin and cryptocurrency exchanges, the world's wealthiest who want to buy Bitcoin do it through an office in West London's upmarket Mayfair. And the relatively new service is becoming increasingly popular amongst the super rich with an interest in crypto. So it doesn't really matter exactly what or how it all happens. What is important here is that they're talking about the UK. And I believe one of the main reasons they're talking about the UK here is because the rules are different and the entry barrier is really a little bit different with how it works. Now, even though, for example, to buy stocks, it's a lot easier to buy them in the US, I would say, than in any other country in the world. Because, well, most people all over the world want to buy US stocks, but buying US stocks in different countries, it always comes with a little bit more of a risk and a little bit more of a I guess, harshness. However, I also think there's many more investors who really don't know what they're doing in comparison to the rest of the world, where people just buy stocks and they don't know. For example, one of my most trending videos ever on my YouTube channel was about a billionaire who said that most people will cry and lose their money, right? And the main reason I said in that video, or the main thing I said in that video, was that a lot of people will buy into Robinhood. They'll put some money in, they'll trade, but they don't know what they're doing, right? They have no idea. And I think US also has the highest popularity in that regard. And so exchanges need to be a little bit more clear with things as well and have better regulations and all that than other countries, which is maybe why billionaires are looking for other countries, because they're easier, less frictionful and all of that. However, thinking about this, right? Thinking about, oh, wait, the super rich are buying Bitcoin. I was also looking a little bit more into like, what are whales doing? What is going on with all of that? And 30 new whales are gobbling up XRP in a sign some big investors are rethinking the cryptocurrency. Now, actually, I wanted to look up the rich list here. I actually forgot to press it. Here we can actually briefly see per percentage account. The rich list, I mean, for a very long time and even now, it's not going up, right? It's not doing anything crazy, and that is the way it's mostly going to be almost all the time. Now, you can see the amount of balance here has gone up from, I believe, 2,700 or so to about 3,000, which means that if you have 3,000 plus XRP, you're in the top 10%. It's been going up a little bit. However, it's really not that much. It's a 10% increase over a little while, but it's not that significant, not that bad. However, one thing we're forgetting, very, very much so, is that the smallest amount of change can be a lot. And here you can see from the last 2 months or so, this has actually changed with 1 million XRP on average that the 0.01% hold. That's actually no joke. That's actually a huge amount of money on average, because it's 0.01% of all the XRP holders right there. Now, thinking about that, 30 whales coming in as well, and the price of XRP going up, that's actually kind of contra. Because you would think that if the XRP price were to go up, the amount of balance would actually sort of go down, right? Because people buying into it now will most likely buy less XRP because the price is already higher. But no, the amount of people in here is going up, and the amount of balance in there is also going up, which is really, really interesting in my opinion, how that is all going on. But yes, some whales and a lot of billionaires and all of that are trying to get into crypto right now. The road is becoming easier and easier. And another fun fact is that, let's see where it is right now. There's actually quite a lot of billionaires that are already interested in XRP. I mean, a little bit earlier we were talking about Matthew Mellon, who has now unfortunately passed away. I just noticed again. Madeline Banking's here's new crypto fortune, almost $1 billion in XRP. Right, he was very, very positive about XRP, and his fund, I believe, was like $500 million worth when he passed, which is really, really crazy. Mellon's XRP is worth around $1 billion, but here he said, crypto is scary and dark. It's anti-America, says Mellon 54. I am pro-America, pro-business, and pro-bank. That's why I went with Ripple. Now, fun fact, I would like to say that he is to a certain degree really, really right, to a certain degree really, really wrong. Ripple would thrive whenever the U.S. Business and banks are doing good. However, it's investing in XRP could also be the completely different side. And that's actually where you got a good one on your hands. Well, you know that even if the US and all those were to fall, XRP could really, really thrive still. Mostly because it's such a liquid, such an easy asset like fiat, but then decentralized, so you don't need anybody. And if everything does really, really prosperous, doing really, really well, you got Ripple, which can work with them all really, really nicely and just the best one out there. Ripple's XRP is designed to rise to $10,000, predicts legendary Blackjack Pro. Again, we're talking about Steve Wynn on this one right here, which again was a huge prediction. Everybody was really happy with that, but that once more shows as well that billionaires are trying to hop in or trying to predict things as well. $10,000 per coin, the true value is what he said. What do we, I guess I lost my one here. Was it this one? Let's see, Investopedia, Ripple, oh yeah, that one. I just wanted to briefly explain as well that a lot of these Ripple executives are also billionaires now. Larson at one point had 5 billion XRP, giving him, I don't really know, like, in total, how much would that be? Oh, here it actually says it. Larson's personal stake is 5.19 billion XRP, giving him a 17% stake in Ripple. According to the exchange rate of XRP as of January 1st, 2018, this means his net holdings were $40 billion. Just thinking about that for a second, thinking about how rich these guys get, don't you think they want the XRP price to go up as well? Don't you think that? Yeah, and that's, again, they have some connections, like I explained in previous video, where Brad Garlinghouse knows a lot more about these behemoth companies than we do, and a lot more that he's not telling us at this point. And then also, Tim Draper, pumping XRP, predicts the price will soar in the short term. Somebody said, Tim Draper thinks it's calm before the storm, explosive growth. Tim Draper really said, or actually to a question on, I think, Quora, if I buy Ripple XRP now into October 2019, when will I get the most profits possible? And somebody, or actually Tim Draper responded and said, experts agree that the crypto winter is coming to an end. This means that the period of market decline is over, and in the near future, we will expect growth and a favorable mood to enter the market. However, things are not that simple with Ripple. Looking at the 3-time growth of Bitcoin over the past 5 months, one would expect XRP to have a similar result. Yeah, really interesting. You get another billionaire getting really positive into it. And then another one, Galaxy Digital, Mike Novogratz. He has said that XRP will underperform, but he's always been really positive of XRP, and he does hold it a lot, and his fund is, has to do with XRP all the time. And then, to kind of put it into perspective, I went to look up how many crypto billionaires there are right now. It really is not that many, all right? There are about 2,000 billionaires in the world. Only 4 entrepreneurs who made it to the list were in crypto out of the 2,095 billionaires, which is really interesting. I'm going to assume right now that it's about 10 out of the whole 2,100 that are into crypto. Maybe it's 15. Think about something along those lines. But to just know that about 4 of them, at least, are also really positive on XRP, even though this might only be the billionaires who became billionaires with XRP, not the ones who are holding it. Just to know that 4 of those billionaires out of the, maybe 15 or so that are into crypto are also happy for XRP, and a couple of them are the Ripple members. That's actually really bullish as well. Out of billionaires, XRP is really one of the coins they choose very often, which is actually really cool to think about and cool to see. Or do you guys not agree with me here? Is there another coin that the billionaires choose that I'm forgetting or didn't know about? Let me know in the comment section down below if you know anything about these billionaires and billionaire coins. But guys, that was it for today's video. Hopefully you all enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you press the like button and subscribe. And send me your info and send me your things on Twitter, by the way, if you find anything out that I should be talking about, or ideas or theories. Because I've been checking into it a lot lately. A real lot.